So, Cobra Kai Season 5 came out about 10 days ago, less than 2 weeks ago, and I, probably like you, have already went ahead and, watched it. Now, I have noticed that the online community for, YouTube and other comment threads and everything have been losing their collective shit over some of the stuff that's happened in this season. A lot of people are very unhappy with certain character developments of specific characters, and this is usually not the kind of thing that I would talk about in particular, because usually I'm just like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. People are really mad about... There's a character in Season 4 and Season 5 named Kenny, a little black kid. And Kenny learned how to use a move called the Silver Bullet, which he was taught by Terry Silver, the antagonist of, or one of the antagonists of Karate Kid 3. Terry Silver has come back for Season 4 and Season 5 to be basically the villain. As possibly Season 6, we don't know, we'll see whenever that comes out next year. But people are upset because he taught Kenny how to use a move called the Silver Bullet, which will disable an enemy by punching them really quickly in the solar plexus. That's the entire fucking ability. I know, right? Just a basic fucking reverse punch in the chest, like right here, just to knock the wind out of somebody. That's all it fucking is. So, when I saw that, I was just like, really? Like, these kids have never learned how to punch somebody in that spot to, disarm somebody? I figured like that would be something that Miyagi-Do karate would be teaching, since it's all about defense. Like, if you could disable somebody, then, you don't have to worry about them fighting you. That's kind of self-defense 101 right there. But people are all upset because Kenny used it on Hawk, who, if you don't know, Hawk is like the badass of the show, Eli or whatever. He punched Hawk in the chest with the Silver Bullet, and Hawk was out of the fight. And suddenly, never before seen in the Karate Kid community, as far as I'm aware, people were losing their fucking shit, saying, oh, that's bullshit, how could you learn that overnight? He saw Terry Silver use it one time. How is he learning this ability overnight? It just all, I know I said that twice, but it just shows you how stupid people are because they don't really think about what the fuck they're watching, or they're not paying attention. Every single one of these fucking kids in this show joined Eagle Fang, Miyagi-Do, or Cobra Kai, and they became black belts overnight. Over the fucking weekend, they're doing front flips and doing shit that the original Karate Kid movie wishes it could fucking be. Like, it's the most ridiculous shit. People became basically like acrobatic. They became MMA fighters just by taking one karate lesson in the backyard of somebody who's been dead canonically in the show. And, people seem to be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, that's how karate works. You take one lesson and you kick ass, sure. No. That's not how that works. People had no problem with Miguel in the final episode of Season 1 using the crane kick to win his first match in the All-State, or the All-Valley Champion, or the championship or whatever. That finishing move that Daniel did in the first Karate Kid movie at the very end to beat Johnny Lawrence? The most famous martial arts move in all of, like, movie history, the crane kick. Miguel did the same thing, beat the first dude of the competition. As a joke, it was a gag. Nobody was upset. Kenny punches somebody in the fucking chest. Oh, how did he learn how to do that? Motherfucker, anybody can fucking do it. It's not even a martial arts ability. You hit somebody right here. That's all it is. You just hit them in the fucking solar plexus, whatever you want to call it. Whatever. Who fucking cares? Or was it Robbie? Robbie is Johnny Lawrence's son from... Oh, I mean, he's in the entire show, but you know what I mean. Robbie learns how to use the Miyagi double kick, or whatever the fuck they called it. This was in the first season. It was Miyagi-Do's most powerful technique, which is just basically you just stand on one hand and kick with both feet. It's basically a drop kick without the running start. That's all it was. And it was just like, oh, he mastered the technique. I'm like, he balanced on one hand, which isn't even impressive if you watch this show. Like, these kids do literally anything. Some of these kids run up the wall. Just whatever. What was it? People got a little bit upset when, what the hell is his name? I don't remember his name. He was the geeky kid. He was one of the binary brothers along with Eli. Uh, basically he beat Hawk with just a kick. And people are like, oh, how's this happen? But I've never seen the backlash to that nearly as bad as when Kenny uses the silver bullet. Which I just think it's because he's black. If we're being honest here, I think it's just because he's black. That sounds like a conclusion I normally like to jump to whenever I watch these kind of things and, like listen to people like freak the fuck out about things. Because usually it's just a bunch of horse shit. It's just like, yeah, okay, sure, we're playing the race card really quickly for no reason. I really don't know. I really feel like it's just because he's a black kid. Like I said, I made the points on like the other students just doing martial arts like really quickly. It's just dumb. That's the cool thing about Danny winning in the first movie. Like, he learned some basic martial arts that wasn't really martial arts. It was just like, wax on, wax off, paint the fence, sand the floor, or whatever. Oh, I'm sorry, sand the floor was this. This was paint the house. He learned how to do that. It was just blocking, muscle memory. Like, that was good because it was just like engraving in your mind, like, you gotta move your hands like this. I don't think he should have won the tournament, but it was cool that he won the tournament. It was just a way to basically show, like, hey, this is for points, not real life. I think that's what Karate Kid number 2 comes in for. And the crane kick was just basically Daniel just standing up on one fucking foot, having his arms out for balance, and then he just kicked in the nose, which is an illegal hit, by the way. He still won for the movie because, he's the hero. I don't know, dude. It's just, the Karate Kid community is fucking retarded. And they're also sitting here talking about power levels. Like, all these characters are like monsters compared to the other one. That's what I liked about, I think in the first episode of season 5, whenever Johnny fought the MMA fighter, and the MMA fighter put Johnny in a headlock and he couldn't get out of it. Like, martial arts is cool, but it's not really like the end-game fighting abilities. I don't know, maybe a Shaolin monk could beat an MMA fighter. I don't know, I haven't really done the research to find out about that. But I think it's fucking hilarious. These kids go take one lesson, and then suddenly they just become badasses, and people are just like, yeah, that's fine, that's cool. At least in the original Karate Kid, it took Daniel like literally months to do this shit. And he's not even technically a black belt, too. That's the funny thing. I think Johnny is the only black belt in this entire show. Other than like Kreese and I guess Silver, which are all Cobra Kai. So Cobra Kai have the only black belts in the entire show. Daniel's martial arts is just basically like, oh, you do chores, and now you beat ass. But that just adds to the charm of the show, like, I appreciate it for that. So, I don't know, this is just my thoughts on it. I really enjoyed season 5. I enjoyed the Karate Kid. Karate Kid's one of my favorite movies from the 80s. I used to have the Walmart DVD collection of the Karate Kid where you had all 3 movies, and I always felt like I was the only kid to actually watch the other 2 movies because most people didn't. Usually with these kind of movies, like the first one's the only good one, and then you got the other 2, usually whatever. I've talked to people before in the past who didn't even know who Chosen and Mike Barnes were. It's kind of apparent because, like, whenever you see the Karate Kid, it's always Johnny Lawrence and Danielson, or Daniel LaRusso, I'm sorry. You never hear about the other 2 characters that were the villains of the show, too. But, hey, it's whatever. I enjoyed the fact that Cobra Kai has opened it up for a new audience. It's updated now. It's basically a soap opera. It's kind of tiresome at times, where it's just like, oh my god, this fucking teenage drama. Why does nobody call the police? Like, just call the fucking cops. No, we have to defeat them with karate. No, just fucking call the police. Like, the cops. Or talk to the kids' fucking parents. Where are these kids' parents in this show? They don't exist. These kids are just like basically become like street gangs. Like, my karate is taking over the valley. It's all for the soul of the valley. We must defeat Kreese. How dare he open up a Cobra Kai? How dare he become an entrepreneur and open up a business? We can't allow this. These kids are going to be taught the wrong kind of martial arts. It's subjective, man. I mean, you see Johnny and his martial arts, and Johnny's not a bad guy, but he was doing Cobra Kai. So, I don't know. I think the whole thing is just retarded. But at the same time, I really love this show. Like, a lot. I'm a big fan of Cobra Kai. don't really have much negative to say about it, apart from like some of the little weird nitpicking parts of it. But you know, it's entertaining at none the least, and I think it's really fun to watch. I just don't like the fans. Same as like Dragon Ball fans, I can't stand them. Like Dragon Ball fans are like the epitome of retardation because they really think Goku is Asian, or they really think like Goku could beat Superman or Saitama, and it's just like, yeah, no. Or they hate like how dumb Goku is in Dragon Ball Super, even though that's literally what Goku's character is in the manga, and you know, the non-dub version of it. The dub version of it made him basically in the Clark Kent, and people really think that's how Goku is. Goku's not like that. You know, where are the fucking people that are like, oh, anime sub is better than the dub? But when it comes to Dragon Ball, it's just like, yeah, I never watched it in Japanese. I don't know, it's just funny to me. Martial arts is entertaining none the least. But that's what I gotta say. If you've seen Cobra Kai, let me know. If you enjoyed it, let me know. On that note, bye. Oh yeah, Cobra Kai never dies.